rep bots and 2 remote sensor boosters, you know, there you go.
Well, the match is starting in 30 seconds, so I'm going to throw it over to Moderator and Ithaca Hawk for the coverage of this match in the Army of New Eden and Samurai Soloed Out.
Right, thank you, Elise Randolph. This is Moderator, joined by Ithaca. Again, as we've mentioned, the Samurai Sold Out team has brought the missile comp with the double Bargus, double Navy Scorpion, and 4 bombers. And Ithaca, walk us through what you think Army of New Eden will do off the opening.
So I think in this case, Army of New Eden, they've got the Vindicator, they've got the Brutix, they've got the Demos. They just want to brawl in and get on top of the Samurai Sold Out guys and just try and get into blaster range, which you can see immediately. They're dropping damage drones, they're burning straight towards them, and the bombers of Samurai Sold Out are just immediately scattering, trying to get away from the Vindicator webs. They don't want to get caught. And they're seeing a Brutix actually already going down into Hull, and he is from the massive amount of damage coming from the Bargus and the Navy Scorpions there. Do you think those bombers are a good choice in this particular setup?
Oh, absolutely, and I agree with the primary of the Brutix and now the Thorax. These torpedoes will be applying to a micro-warp driving cruiser nearly perfectly, and now they're going to go into the Dymos. It'll have the Tech 2 resist, but it's already taking a massive amount of damage, and only 1 Manticore into armor. They're not trading against these bombers quickly enough for how fast they're losing their support wing of the Brutix, Dymos, and Thorax.
Yeah, we're starting to see some damage onto that Navy Scorpion there. He is look like he is repping a little bit or receiving either rep drones. Just having a look now. So he does seem to be tanking a little bit himself, but we'll see if he can tank well enough to stand up to the Vindicator. And the Demos, who is dropping into pretty low armors, he's going to be gone soon. Garibaldi in the Guardian, struggling to keep him alive.
Yeah, critically, there's no rep drones on top of him. That's entirely the work of the Guardian. The Dymos is now burning away as fast as he can from the torpedo damage, and is actually somehow maintaining. Possibly a good call for Katana would be to switch off either to the Vindicator or to the Guardian and get the reps off the field, or shoot something that's got the Tech 1 resist, not the Tech 2. Manticore and the Nemesis do kinetic thermal damage, so the worst possible damage you can do against the Dymos.
Yeah, the Guardian there, probably not the ideal logi for them here. They probably wanted that in Nears, but it was banned out by Samurai Sold Out. The Guardian isn't quite as cap stable as the Nears, which is probably the most popular armor logi for the Alliance Tournament format. Now, he is doing a really great job, though, just holding that Demos up, no problem. Both teams now are just starting to struggle to trade. We are seeing some damage on one of the Manticores, but he looks like he's away, and it's been traded onto the Barghest of Valmet. He's been webbed, and he's taking a lot of damage now. Hopefully, they'll be able to get those rep bots over to him as soon as possible, otherwise they're going to lose a huge chunk of all their damage.
Speaking of rep drones, we can actually see why the Proteus doesn't have enough space for guns. He's running a smart bomb in his high slot, and you can see that he's bombing off the medium shield bots that were on top of Valmet, and without that logistics support on top of him, he's now dropping into low shields.
Yeah, we're also seeing smart bombs coming off from the Damnation as well. Ghoster in the Damnation sitting there in the middle, just smart bombing off. He has stopped now because he was about to smart bomb his own drones, but he's realized and stopped doing that. Now we have still only 1 Manticore down to the other side, but we look at a second one dropping into low structure. If he can pull away and get out of range, he might be able to survive and continue to use those torpedoes to just damage. Now, the Guardian now starting to take a huge amount of hit. He's been target painted. That's if he's AB fit, which based on his speed probably is, he's going to be able to sig tank quite well those torpedoes. And he looks like he is, but he is starting to struggle.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Eric Mizuni, the radio host, did drop in her Dymos. So this Guardian now is actually on top of the Bargus and the Navy Scorpions at 0, maybe needing to pull range. I'm not seeing a sort of web or a grapple on top of him. It's a bit of a curious choice not to tackle them. I'm actually not seeing any sort of tackle onto the side of New Eden from Samurai Sold Out. What do you make of that, Ithaca?
I think they just don't need it by the looks of it anymore, because all they've got is the Barghest and the Navy Scorpion. So if they've just gone full application and full utility and tank, then they might have just hoped to be able to, run stuff down, and then they've got rapid heavies, I believe, so they're able to just hit them from quite reasonable range. And those are quite fast ships, the battleships. So I think maybe they just decided they didn't need tackle in this particular comp and just hope for the best.
One thing that also didn't need tackle was the nemesis of Nilot Nibe going down for Samurai Sold Out. With that, they're going to have less damage to apply to the Guardian, who is actually tanking quite comfortably. Samurai sold out, probably needing to clear rep drones or to choose a different primary, and it looks like they're going to be switching off to the Vindicator of Blade, realizing that they are unable to punch the Guardian, who is just only now getting reps on top of him as the Vindicator is dipping into about half armor.
Yeah, I think it's quite important to notice here that the armored unit do have logistics, so they are able to. They just have more staying power. If they can save this Vindicator, then they still stand a reasonable chance to pull this match back. All they need to do is kill one of the big heavy battleships, and that's a lot of points. Though, as I say that, Vindicator of Blade dropping into hull, he's into very low hull now. This Guardian can overheat all these reps, which he can't. That is the Vindicator down. That is most of the damage of the armored unit off the field. I think that's pretty much it for them, to be fair.
Yeah, with that Vindicator doing that void damage up to nearly a couple thousand, they're not going to be able to break through Velmet Gladys in his Barghest, and you can see that he's recovering most of his shields. I don't see any way of Army of New Eden actually getting into this match. They're still smart bombing rep drones, but they just don't have any damage. The Proteus with the 3 guns and the Damnation, the only 2 damage ships left on the field, couldn't even break a self-tank of a Barghest, much less the rep drones that were on him earlier.
Yeah, so at this point, it's probably just a game for points. So points do matter, and they will be used to determine tiebreakers. So, I mean, Spaceship Samurai, they have this... Spaceship Samurai, Samurai sold out. They have this kind of in the bag, but they don't want to give up. They don't want to just stop just now. They want to get as many points as possible. So they want to try and focus down, kill this Guardian, and then just get a clean sweep for the rest of the ships as well. On the other side, they probably want to try and at least kill that Nemesis. If he makes a mistake and comes too close, they could try and snag him. It's pretty much the only ship they have any chance of killing now.
Yes, speaking of things that are getting killed, the Guardian now dropping, and the Nemesis are doing an excellent job of Osat Barlet. He's just chilling away at range, applying his torpedoes, not wanting to get in close to either of the Vindicator when that was alive and not getting webbed, or the Proteus, and those Proteus blasters just won't be able to apply at range, so the Nemesis being really the only ship that they could actually kill at this point is making an excellent decision and just kiting away. Proteus now into about 25% armor, no repairs from the Guardian, meaning that he will drop rather shortly.
Yeah, and with the Proteus Iron, it really is just the Damnation, a huge HP to chew through, but I don't think it'll take long for 2 Barghest and 2 Navy Scorpions with that Nemesis helping out. So it's pretty much the end of this match here. Samurai sold out, taking it. Full clean sweep. I think, although saying that, Army of Eden, did they start underpointed? Were they on 99 points?
Yes,
they chose to only bring 7 pilots, and they were down a point. Maybe they just didn't have any more people. I actually would have liked to have seen, maybe instead of a Proteus, they could have brought 2 Vexor navies or 2 Vexors and a Vexor Navy for roughly the same point cost and filled out their lineup, had a lot more utility, and run links off the Damnation and the Brutix. 4 links in the setup probably would have been enough. They would have gotten a lot more utility and a lot more tackle to chase down those bombers. I mean, only so much you can really do with a 7-point comp, and running into the total damage of the Barghest and the Navy Scorpions, you can see the massive attack bar that Samurai Sold Out has. I just don't see that there was any way that Army of New Eden could have actually played it.
No, I mean, do you think this is a comp that we'll see again from Samurai Sold Out here? It's a no logi, 4 battleships, 4 bombers comp, or do you think it's more of a gimmick thing to try and get through the first round, as some of the other commentators were saying, just get through something a bit shocking, a bit surprising, get through, all you care about is getting in the first round and just come out, you know, all guns blazing? Or do you think we'll see this again in a serious form?
I'm not sure. We'll definitely know as we get into the actual matches proper. Congratulations to Samurai Sold Out. They will advance. Army of New Eden having to fight down into the lower bracket, and with that, we'll send it to at least Randolph and the rest of the analysis desk to break down that match.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.